What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the video. In this video I want to talk about my journey so far with e-commerce, because I think sometimes people get disillusioned. They don't really understand my full story. So let me dive into it. I think it might be beneficial for those that are struggling in a journey so far, maybe to sort of keep hope, because look, I'm not a massive seller, but I've been earning a full-time income for quite a long time now online. So I think it'd be quite a good video for me to just explain my journey, explain the struggles that I had, explain the stages, the different stages that I went through to get to sort of where we are now and what it's looking like in the future. So yeah, let's do this. So I started on e-commerce, it was about 4 years ago, and that was doing about 5 years ago actually, and that was doing drop shipping. So I used to do drop shipping from eBay to Amazon, and that was an interesting thing. So what we used to do is we used to have software, and we used to create listings, thousands of listings at a time, and we used to bulk sort of copy these listings with a software called EasySync. They used to, sorry, it was from Amazon to eBay. They used to come from, and then if someone bought something from our eBay store, which the software pasted, then it would automatically buy it from Amazon. And it started off really well. You know, we were doing well, and we were doing thousands of pounds profit a month, and I was like really happy with that. But it quickly went under, it quickly went down. And the reason for that was because we had our account banned. And at this stage, I'd just gone and bought myself a new, well, not new, couple of year old Mercedes E-Class. I think it was gold with black wheels. It's like something from Dubai. And then I got stuck with it because I realised on a weekend away, basically I started enjoying my money too much, too fast. Because it was the first time I ever came into proper money. So that was a bit of a wake-up call. I had to sell the car. I went travelling because my head was messed up. Blah, 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 blah. And there was some issues going on with a girl at the time as well that I was seeing. So, yeah, all in all, that was a bit of a... I have to say, it put me off e-commerce. So then I went and started something that I knew how to do, which was a gardening and landscaping business. So I went and started that again. And then a few months into that, I realised that, hey, I can do this. I realised that I'd given up. I'd given up on the e-commerce. And just because that one business model didn't work for me, I had some sort of calling inside myself, as cringy as it sounds, to carry on, to get back into e-commerce. Because, look, I didn't want to do gardening. I could have grown that into a multiple van business like I did with my last one, but I didn't want to do it. So what I did is I signed up to this free Amazon FBA course. Well, it wasn't free, it was like $1 a month or something crazy cheap. And I'm actually redoing that course at the moment, funnily enough. It's on private label, but I'll get into that another time. And then I started learning. And then all of a sudden I went, right, that's it. And this is the difference between the people that take action, the people that succeed, and the people that don't, in my opinion. Once I'd saved up enough money from that gardening business again, once I knew I had enough to live off for a few months, I packed it in and I said, right, I'm not doing this anymore. And I went all in into the Amazon stuff. Now, the funny thing is I didn't end up doing private label. So I ended up going to a speaking event, speaking gig thing. And I got talking to a friend there, not a friend, an acquaintance. He was one of the speakers, and he told me about the opportunity of online arbitrage. He said that instead of doing private label, what he was doing, this was alien to me, I'd never heard of it. Instead of what he was doing, instead of private label, what he was doing was he was buying stuff from shops, from retailers, and then reselling them. And I thought, okay, cool, so that means that I don't have to import from China, blah, 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 blah. So I was like, okay, let's do it, let's give it a go. So I set the company up and gave it a go. And it wasn't an easy journey. I think I'd hardly made anything 6 months in. And then a year in, I started to actually compound my money. And actually, I started realising this was actually working. I started doing YouTube. And I started documenting my journey. You can go back on this channel and look at my very first video. where I talk about online arbitrage vs private label. Have a look at it. Go back on the old thing on the filters. And after that, it just started to compound and compound. But then, online arbitrage in the UK, the stuff that I was doing started to not work as well. And my margins started to get smaller, my profits started to get smaller, my ROI started to get smaller. By the way, there's still people that make it work. There's still some sort of opportunity, I'm sure. But for me, online arbitrage in the UK got too saturated. I don't know if it is now. Don't bite my head off. I'm just saying, for me, it was. So I started looking... What's going on? Quick introduction here, just to introduce my new sponsor. So I'm now sponsored by Prepared For You. I've been using this prep center for a fair few months now, and they've been fantastic, okay? If you are interested in trying them out, I've got a link below. Click on the link below, the Prepared For You link, and you can get £50 off your first month with them. Type in Hayden into the coupon code when you're signing up to your desired package, and you can get £50 off. As I say, really recommend them. I've enjoyed their service, and yeah, very efficient, very communicational, and I will see you in the next video. Let's dive in. New opportunities, and this was around about, and by the way, I'd spent many years, I spent months and months and months building my online arbitrage business up. Once I had that level of experience, I knew I could cultivate that into something else. I knew that I could spin that into something else, into a new opportunity. It was either going to be private label, or it was going to be wholesale, or something. So I then got speaking to my coach, and she told me about a new opportunity where I could build my own brand. So I started looking into that, and that was about a year and, I don't know, 2 months ago, that the idea came to me. I hadn't started it yet, but the idea came to me through her. And I went, once again, this is a really important thing that entrepreneurs do that are successful as those that don't, I believe. Once again, I went from online arbitrage and I did a full pivot into the brand creation. That's the difference. Most people, I'm not saying that's right or wrong, it's different situations, but most people don't do that. They're too scared, or they got too many things locked up in this one business opportunity, or in their mind. Usually it's in their mind, and they don't just pivot. I do hard pivots, and I've always done it, and it's always worked out for me. Once I do analysis on a situation, once I do an analysis on an opportunity, once I know I've got enough experience in myself around that opportunity, like I did, because I'd already been selling on Amazon, once I've done my research, I do full pivots and I go into stuff, and that's just the way I do it. And I think that's an important, if you can stomach the stress and the uncertainty, that's what probably sets you apart. So I did a full pivot, and I've never looked back, and I've just been building that. It's been slow growth, but I've been building it, and now I'm hoping to get that to, well, I will get it to 7 figures and above. Rewind, and then fast forward another year, which is, a few months ago ish. This is all ish, by the way, I don't know exact dates. I started online arbitrage again, and that was in the USA. So in the USA, we now do online arbitrage. And actually last month, I think I suppressed my figures from my UK Amazon business to my USA business. That's how fast we got growth there. It's slowed down a bit now because we've had a few issues, but we're just going to speed it up a bit. I don't want that to be massive. It's just another income stream. All the time I was doing this, I was also building my personal brand on YouTube. This is another online income stream. So I work with brands now that put ads in my videos like this, sponsors, I work with affiliates. I get the YouTube AdSense, which isn't a lot. It's certainly not enough. It isn't a lot, but it's still something. It's still another income stream. And we're just looking at now scaling things up. And eventually my idea is to have, the next step for me is hardcore private label. And you'll notice when I do a big pivot into this soon, I'm going to do hardcore private label, and we're going to build a massive brand, a multi-7-figure brand. That's my goal. UK, USA, all marketplaces. That's my goal. So that's a little update from me. That's my story so far, and that's what I did. And I'm probably going to launch some sort of Amazon-related agency, or maybe not software. I don't know. Some sort of service for sellers, something that I believe. Got a few ideas, some areas of the market that I think are underserved. I'll be launching in them soon. But that's it. That's my story so far with e-commerce. And we're only a few years in. I think people expect a lot. People expect a lot very, very fast. But it's a slow game, and it takes you ages to build that momentum up. Once it's there, though, you can just start pulling that truck. Keep pulling that truck for other opportunities. So I hope that video has helped and inspired someone, or given you some sort of vague outline of what your sort of timeline could be. Obviously, it all depends on your current investment, your financial investment, your time investment, and the stress that you're willing to put up with. I hope to see you in the next video.